All right, today we're gonna first start with a vocab word, and our first one is going to be volume. Now this is something we have definitely talked about before. So that is the amount of space, a 3D object takes up. Now please make sure this is going into your vocab section of your notebook. So volume is the amount of space that a three-dimensional or a 3D object takes up. So for instance, if we look at this rectangular prism here, if we were to fill it up with water or like with a drink, that would be the volume, everything on the inside of the shape. So an example of that could be like filling a swimming pool. So filling a swimming pool. Or maybe you're talking about how much soda a can holds. Now the other thing that we want to talk about is our units whenever we label it. Because we have a three-dimensional object, the units are always cubed when we find volume because we have 3 dimensions. We have a length, we have a width, and we have a height of our shape. All right. Now let's do a couple of examples. All right, so we're gonna cross off B and C at the top, and we are gonna start here with number 3. And we are going to calculate the volume of these prisms. Now, these are both rectangular prisms. Remember, whenever we look at them, we find the base. And so with a rectangular prism, you can really think about it, whichever 2 rectangles are the same as your base. Okay, so let's find our volume. So traditionally, we would think about volume as length times width times our height. But I want to start transitioning to a more general formula for volume because you're going to notice it's going to be used across the board. Well, if we were talking about length times width, well, that's like the area of one of these rectangles. In other words, if I called this rectangle my base, I would find the area of the base. So I'm going to represent that as a capital B. So V equals a capital B, and then we're going to multiply it by the height. And so that stands for area of the base. Okay, so now let's find the volume of this prism. We're always going to start with volume equals and then our formula. So B times H, area of the base. Notice it's a capital B, it's not a lowercase b. And in this particular example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the area of my base is this small rectangle here, the one that it's sitting on. So that means the one that's identical to it is the one at the top. So to find the area of a rectangle, well, we do our length times width like we just talked about. So volume equals, and we are going to have 3/4 times 3/8. And then our height of our prism is 2, so times 2. Well, now we just need to multiply. So let's take care of our parentheses, these fractions. So we have 3 times 3, which is 9, and then 4 times 8, which is 32, and then times 2. And what should we put that 2 over? Over 1. Okay, and then we're going to multiply again. So volume equals, and we have 18, 9 times 2, and then 32 times 1, which is 32. And then we can simplify from here. So we see both of them are even numbers, so we can divide them both by 2. So that means 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 32 divided by 2 is 16. So our volume is 9/16, and then inches, and we're talking about volume, which is 3-dimensional, the amount of space it takes up, so cubed. All right, let's do it one more time. So volume equals, we're gonna find the area of the base. And for this one, I'm gonna say the area of the base is the one it's sitting on. So it's this big rectangle down here on the bottom, so it matches the one on the top. So we find the area of the base times the height. So volume equals, let's find the area of this rectangle. So we have 1 3/4, and then times 3. And then our height is 1/3, so times 1/3. Well, what should we do to this mixed number here? Let's change it to an improper fraction. So we have volume equals, so we do 4 times 1 plus 3. So we have 7/4. And then we're going to put 3/1, so times 3/1. And then we're also going to be multiplying it by 1/3. So we can just multiply straight across and take care of all of them. So 7 times 3 is 21. Well, 21 times 1 is still 21. And then we have 4 times 1, which is 4, and then 4 times 3, which is 12. So our volume for this rectangular prism is 21/12, and then once again, inches cubed, because we were talking about volume. Please always make sure that you label your answers with the correct units.